Hey VC, how's it going? It's Friday again, time for another video. I think Friday is going to be my day from now on for my uploads. If something changes with that, I'll let you guys know. But in general, I wanted to do it on weekends. And Friday is a good a day as any. I usually have the day off, so that works out. A couple of videos ago, I showed my Radiohead collection, then I showed my Beatles collection. And I like how the Radiohead one turned out. I'm not the biggest fan of my own Beatles video. I thought it ended up being kind of boring. So I think most of that was just because I don't really have that much interesting stuff for the Beatles. So I thought maybe I could show some stuff I've never seen on the VC before in terms of, well, the band, first off. Obviously, the title of this video says Tiger's Jaw Collection, so I'm going to be showing some stuff from this band called Tiger's Jaw. Now, Tiger's Jaw is, I guess, the most simplest term you could describe them as would be just indie rock. They're kind of thrown into the whole emo revival genre that has been going on, the past 7 or so years. For a while there, they were probably my favorite current band. And Charmer, I think, is definitely in my top 5 favorite records of this decade so far, just personally. So, yeah, their newer one is not as good. I think I mentioned this before, they lost like 60% of their members all at once. They went from 5 members down to 2, with like a kind of rotating supporting group of musicians that tour with them or record with them and stuff. So yeah, I'll just kind of go chronologically through my collection. I'll actually start with the LPs. Well, some of these are LPs, some of these are 12 inches, and then they have quite a few 7-inch singles. Some of these were harder to find than others. For instance, their first album, Belongs to the Dead, Tiger's Jaw, Belongs to the Dead. This is a reissue on Run for Cover, which was their label there for a while. I think this came out in like 2012, I want to say. They did a couple of reissues of their older stuff. This originally came out on another label that I do not remember the name of. I believe, anyway. This is just on normal black vinyl. My cover's a little beat on this. If you look on Discogs, they have some of these for sale. They're a little pricey for what it is. 10 tracks. Most of them are pretty short. It goes by pretty quickly. These are basically, I kind of consider this like an EP because it has a bunch of earlier recordings or earlier, rougher kind of demo versions of songs that they would re-record later, more professionally, and a few kind of rarities of the early band. Trying to think of, you'll see a lot of these tracks later on their later material. Some of them you won't. Pretty interesting. Next up is their debut record, simply self-titled Tiger's Jaw. Sweet pizza on the cover. Again, 10 tracks. It can go by kind of quickly. There's not any like super long tracks on here. They're all about 2 to 4 minutes. This was and I believe most people's intro to this band. You can't really go wrong in terms of a debut album from like a indie emo band, because there's not really one bad song on here. If I had to pick a weak spot, it might be oh man, that's tough. Arms Across America, even though I do like that song. But yeah, this is on a cool. This isn't like a first pressing or anything. They, again, were still on that DIY label I don't remember the name of, before they signed to Run for Cover, who reissued this, and they have reissued it several times since then. I believe this is a pressing from like 2013, 2014 maybe. But it's on this cool orange sunburst splatter, whatever you call it, I don't know. It kind of matches the cover slightly, just in terms of in general it being the color orange. So yeah, that's pretty cool. Rubber cover likes to use these thick gatefold sleeves that are sometimes kind of tricky to get back into the outer sleeve, but there, I got it first try. Next up, I have their split with balance and composure. I think I showed this in a recent finds video. I'll just quickly go through it again. Ignoring the balance and composure songs, this has some tracks that you might recognize from the Belongs to the Dead EP. Lodging, which has some interesting Twin Peaks references. There's some characters from that, vague references. Jet Alone, I believe, was on the EP. Danielson, Dent, I believe, is a new track that was recorded for this, but yeah, pretty cool. I'll show the color again. Most of these are on colored vinyl. This cool splatter matches the cover pretty well. Printed inner sleeve with lyrics. I'll show that too. Nice little photo of the band. And this has some of my favorite material of theirs on here. I really love the first three songs a lot, and then Dent is just okay. Next up is a compilation from Run for Cover Records called Mixed Signals. There's 12 tracks from 12 bands. One of them is Tiger's Jaw. It has the song Distress Signal, which I think they re-recorded for their album Charmer. This is actually kind of one of the easier things to find because, well, this is just on normal black vinyl. It has kind of a relatively huge booklet inside of it that takes up most of the thickness of this cover. And the rest of the tracks, you know, they are what they are. I think I'm kind of biased, but I think the Tiger's Jaw song is the best one on here. It's compilation. Then their second record, Two Worlds. This one I think is the shortest of all their full lengths. I think it's like maybe 25 minutes or so, 11 tracks. I don't think people would say any of their hits are on here, except for maybe Smile. But again, in my opinion, kind of a flawless album. Maybe not flawless, but as a record, it flows very well. I love the tracks Smile, Two Worlds, Coil / Recoil, Test Pattern, Windmills, I Saw the Wolf, Bona Pizza. Every track on here is great. And then from, I think this is 2014, their last album is a full group, Charmer. Yeah, 2014 on this. This is my favorite of theirs. I mean, I think this is kind of where they peaked in terms of songwriting. So far, peaked so far in terms of songwriting, quality of the recording, and just the track listing in general is really great. Also, there's kind of a cool thing with this record where all of the like the stitching, it's all kind of based on like a, what would you call it, like a cross stitching style, and everything is like embossed, like all the lettering and everything where you see stitching. Even on the back cover, like all the flowers and the record label and all the text, everything's but the barcode and like the textile background is embossed. Pretty cool. This is on a, I believe it's yeah, kind of a turquoise colored vinyl. Pretty neat. I used to have this on like a dark green translucent. It comes with printed inner sleeve, kind of matches the cover, and a pretty big poster. The back side of this poster has all the lyrics on it, I believe. Which I think it's cool, but I would have rather had the lyrics on a separate insert that you don't have to unfold completely just to look at. And my only other gripe with this is the title on the spine for some reason is flipped. So, you know, record right side up, the text is upside down. I don't know why they do that. Every single copy is like that too. I don't know why. Next up, another compilation. I don't remember the name of this one, but it's kind of it's dedicated to the guy who kind of produces for all these bands, named Will Yip. Tiger's Jaw, one song on here called "Carry You Over." Pretty solid. I consider it like a B-side from the Charmer album, because again, it's the full band. Baby Sex has a good song on here too. Pretty cool. I think this one's colored also. I don't think they released this on normal black vinyl. Yeah, it's red. Kind of translucent red. Kind of neat. Try to speed this up a little bit. So I'm already at almost 11 minutes. Acoustic session, Studio 4 acoustic session. Just the two remaining band members, I believe their names are Ben and Brianna, of their songs that already existed. I think this is on like an Easter yellow. I'll try to show that quickly. Yeah, I'll insert yellow vinyl. You can see. I think I got this at the point where I was staying on top of all their releases as they came out, because at some point I decided I wanted to get every single thing they would ever release on vinyl, and I've kept that up, including with their newest album, Spin. Just came out this year, pretty solid. I've said in a recent Arrivals video, it's not a bad album. It's probably my least favorite of theirs, honestly. I really miss the other members. What can I say? There are some great songs on here though. June, Blurry Vision, Bullet, Windows, great. I'll show the color yet again, but this is on a kind of translucent blue. It matches the text on the cover a little bit. I always appreciate it whenever they kind of make an effort to make their color variants match the artwork a little bit. It doesn't have to be completely, but you know, the effort is nice. Well, that's it for the 12 inches. I'll move on to the 7 inches. Some of these are really hard to find, very rare. If I can remember how many were pressed of these, or if it says on the back, I'll make sure to make a note of that. This is their, these are also chronological. This is, they're split with the Sidekicks. I believe it's on black vinyl. Includes their songs Jimmy Pearsall and Boots and Hanks. I remember the song Jimmy Pearsall very well. It's a very good song. Boots and Hanks I don't remember as much, so maybe it's not as great. I'll have to re-listen to this. It's been a while. Next up, this was super hard to find. This is a flexi from a showcase CMJ 2011 limited edition flexi. Exclusively available October 22nd, 2011. So yeah, I got this on Discogs. I think I paid like 20 bucks for this, but you don't really see this anywhere. This has an alternate version of Chemicals from their first full length. It's definitely, I would consider it an acoustic version. It's you know, standard piano, maybe some acoustic guitar. I think that's about it, besides the vocals. But yeah, it's really neat. Next up is their release. I guess you would call this maybe a short EP called Spirit Desire. It's got the track Spirit Desire, We Are Great, There Is Only One, and Crystal Vision. This is really neat. This is one of the first like 3 or 4 Tiger Jaw records I got. This one I believe is on purple, like dark purple vinyl. Yeah, pretty neat. And the cover opens up like so. And Brianna, who is one of the remaining members of the band, she plays keyboards also and does vocals, but she does all of the artwork for, I believe, every single one of their releases, artwork, photography. She did the cross stitching on Charmer. Next up, Run for Cover did this short-lived series of acoustic 45s where they would have bands on their roster just play their own songs acoustic. These are the two that Tiger's Jaw did, Volume 1 and 2. One has I Saw Water, Two Worlds, and You Are the Soul, which is a really cool Tiger's Jaw song. And then number 2 has Smile, Return, with Let Go / Trash Floors, which I think are all tracks from Two Worlds. So yeah, really cool. These were not easy to find at all. Those are cool photos. I don't think they're related to the band at all, but the idea of an acoustic 7-inch series is very cool to me. And then they have Gypsy, which I think is a Fleetwood Mac cover, and then an alternate version of Jimmy Pearsall, which again I think is an acoustic version. This is on normal black vinyl also. Next up, this is a Run for Cover reissue of their 2008 Summer Tour EP that I believe came out in 2008. It's got Neighbors, Sammy Davis Jr., and an acoustic version, or alternate version of Spirit Desire. Black vinyl, pretty standard. Except this is their split with Tiny Empires. Now, something fun about this this release. Well, first of all, I'll show the vinyl. It's on a cool split. Pull it out. Cool blue and white. Matches the cover. Something cool about this is you may notice the track there. What's that? My Friend Morrissey? Hey, that's my username. Yeah, obviously one of my favorite Tiger's Jaw songs. I'm not sure why. It's just the general vibe of the old band lineup. I think that's kind of summarized very well in the single song. And then No Mask / Haze Coffin is one of the more interesting songs they ever recorded because it shifts dynamics very drastically. Except they're on this four-way split with The World Is, Code Orange Kids, and Self Defense Family with their song Fake Death. Great later era full band track. I don't remember the color this is on. I think this one's colored. Yeah, it's on kind of a, I think they call this rose color. It's just red. It's red. Roses are red. Next up, single from Charmer. It's called Hum. This is the standard version with this photo. I'll show you the rare version in a second, but the B-side is one of my favorite B-sides they ever did. It's an acoustic version of Cool. On the album, I believe Cool is in standard tuning on guitar, and the B-side version is played on acoustic guitar, is tuned a half step down. It kind of adds a different vibe to the song. Also, I believe the harmonies are easier to hear on the acoustic version, which is a very nice B-side. And then this was the last thing that I got, besides their new releases. This is the last thing I was able to find. I got lucky, someone sold this on Discogs that had never been sold before. This is the rare cover of Hum with the jack-o'-lantern. I believe this was again for the CMJ showcase. Maybe this is like 2014. Actually, I think my other copy of Hum was colored. I thought it was just on black, but come to think of it, I think it's on yeah, it's on this kind of bluish thing with some white mixed in there, kind of cloudy. And then I think the other one is colored also. Check that real quick. No, this is on black. Still cool. I think this has special labels that actually says where this came from. Yeah, this numbered CMJ Showcase 2013, October 19th, the numbered 163 out of 200, and the back label is blank white. Definitely one of the rarest records in my entire collection. It's very hard to track that down. And then their newest single release, this split with Kevin Devine. He has a covers series where they both cover songs by a different band. I think they both covered The Cure. Tiger Shaw covered In Between Days. Kevin Devine covered Love Song. I don't remember if there are more songs on this. I think it's just maybe the one. But yeah. Kind of burgundy. I guess it's a burgundy. It matches the covers slightly, depending on the lighting. These labels, do vinyl splits, inserts. Yep. Both Cure songs. Oh yeah, I think that's about it for Tiger Jaw stuff. I have the cassettes that were released on Run for Cover, just their 3 full lengths. I haven't grabbed the new one yet. I may or may not. I was more concerned with collecting every single vinyl release they had. Cassettes, not as concerned with. CDs, definitely not concerned. I think the only CD I have is Charmer, because I just want to listen to it in my car. And I found that used at some, I think The Groove in Nashville. But yeah, that's about it for the Tiger Jaw collection. Thanks you guys for watching. I think I mentioned this at the beginning, but I just wanted to show stuff you guys haven't necessarily seen before, you know. Every time, not that I'm tired of seeing videos about stuff that everyone knows, but yeah, I just want to kind of throw it out there that there's other bands that exist, new bands that are good. So I'll kind of try to do my part to show a lot of new music as it comes out, maybe talk about new releases, and not just kind of go over the same tried and true bands that everyone loves. Well, those are good. Obviously, I've got Kind of Blue back there, and these shelves are full of classics, vintage stuff like that. But yeah, I'll just try to do my part. New stuff. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Sticking through these videos. They're kind of lengthy, but they're fun to make, so I enjoy making them. I hope you guys enjoy watching them. Well, thanks. I'll see you guys next time.